All right, Adam, it is time to talk about my favorite team. And apparently, according to Twitter and Auburn Twitter, a blue blood that I didn't even know about, just a college basketball blue blood through and through. The Auburn Tigers, one of the most dominant first halves of the season we've seen, I feel like in the SEC, recently from a team not named Kentucky. I didn't realize this. They haven't beaten a tournament team since February 1st. But that's all the stats I'm going to give. I'm going to just hand it over to you. You know more than me about basketball. You know more than me about Auburn, all the things. You are our basketball expert here at SCS. What do you see the Tigers' ceiling, floor, and ultimate ending in the tournament being?
Well, so to combat your stat a little bit there, they haven't played a tournament team at Auburn Arena in a while. They haven't played a tournament team on a neutral court in a while. So yeah, I mean, I'm aware they're not playing their best basketball right now. They're not. Like, that's fair. And they, like, Katie Johnson went like over everything in that loss to A&M. But what I do like about them is that they still have Jabari Smith. He's still great.
He's pretty good.
Wendell, he's all right. Just the next KD, but that's whatever. If that's good to have on your team, then sign me up. So,
well, he's been out for a while, Adam, so not a great comp. Okay, if we're going to take it literally, so there's that.
Right, and then but Wendell Green Jr., the shots that he was hitting at the end of the A&M game, that's why I am turning my opinion around on Auburn. I think that him playing with confidence is so important. When he's hitting those threes, when he's running the pick and roll game with Walker Kessler, and Walker Kessler, every day that he gets to rest his shoulder is a good day. And so he's hopefully going to be a little stronger for the first couple rounds here. And then if you make it through the first 2 rounds, then you get another 3 or 4 days off, and then you play again. So the NCAA tournament isn't quite as hectic as people think. Yeah, you have to win 6 games, but like, there's days off. You get at least 1 day off in between games, so you're not playing like every day, like in a conference tournament setting. So I still have confidence in them, but I have them going a lot further. I think that they're being like overlooked a little bit, even in favor of some like trendy teams that won their conference tournament that we can get to in a second here.
This, yeah, in general, I'm gonna get on the soapbox for a second here about. I hated the fact that all season, like, I thought Auburn was disrespected for most of the year by, like the voters and the polls. And then for whatever reason, college basketball, more than any other sport we see in the NCAA, the Blue Bloods get the benefit of the doubt every single time. And you talk about Tennessee not getting a 2 seed after going through and winning the SEC tournament, and Duke having the 116th ranked strength of schedule, whatever. Those are just stats and facts. We don't have to live off those. But you have a pretty strong
college basketball.
Honestly, in social media or anything in our jobs too. So that's also good. You have a pretty strong take here about one of their potential opponents. And I'm just going to hand the floor to you, because if you have hate in your heart, let it out.
I'm never picking Kansas to make the Final Four. It's just not going to happen. Full disclosure, if you don't know by now and you've been living under a rock, I'm a Mizzou guy. So it's just not in me to pick Kansas to make the Final Four. And fortunately, that usually ends up being a wise bet. They've won. Sure. Like, they've made, they've been a top 4 seed for 21 years in a row, I believe was the stat that I saw the other day. They have this many titles to show for it. Right. They won in 2008, I think it was. And just like, so they're consistent underachievers. And I love saying that. That made me very happy to say. I needed that today. But they're consistent underachievers. And, yes, they're hot. They swept through the Big 12 tournament in solid
fashion. They do that every year.
That's also very true. And so I worry about them even reaching the Elite Eight. I don't even think Auburn's going to have to play them, because I have them losing to Iowa. I think that that state has historically given them some trouble in the tournament. If we go back to Ali Farokhmanesh and the Northern Iowa,
who can forget?
Who could forget? So I mean, I don't even have Kansas making it to the Elite Eight. I have Auburn beating Iowa to go to the Final Four. I just think that it sets up well. I think that there's things that Bruce Pearl can do to unlock his team a little bit more. I mean, you let KD Johnson keep shooting. He's not going to go over another game. if Walker Kessler's healthy. But, I would put Jabari Smith with the ball in his hands even more in more half court situations and bringing the ball up the floor. Like, he doesn't have to carry the ball up the court every time. He doesn't have to be LeBron James.
Right.
But you let him bring the ball up the court, and he's undervalued as a distributor. Like, he makes good passes when he has to.
Right.
And, I would like to see him, frankly, run the pick and roll game with Walker Kessler a little bit, because I think that where Wendell Green runs it really well, and they have that chemistry, but where Jabari Smith could really unlock that even further is that sometimes, like, the open shot off of a pick and roll is that the guy with the ball in his hands getting the screen needs to hit a mid-range jumper.
Right.
Wendell's not super great at that. Jabari Smith is one of the best in the country at that. So I would like to see some of that more.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think also it's kind of crazy to think about this. And I was joking around about the blue blood thing, but just in recent memory, we've seen one of these two teams, Auburn and Kansas, I'm talking about, actually, like, play their best basketball when it counts and make a run to the Final Four. Like, as of recent, we've seen Bruce Pearl do it way more recent than Bill Self, unless I'm forgetting something. So this is a team that, like, the support from the fans has been awesome. I think they're going to travel well. They've done it all year. Like, even when they were in the Bahamas early in the year, they had people traveling out there. I really think that, like, one thing Bruce Pearl does better than almost anyone, he's kind of like Coach O with LSU. That team is like a absolute, like, cohesive unit and like a family. And I hate, I know Auburn all the time. You hear like an Auburn family. I think with this team, especially under Bruce Pearl, he does a really good job of cultivating that. And I think it's going to show in something in a pretty positive way. I would think, like, when you have like a situation like this, where you just have to win 2 games a week and just get through. We've seen them win 2 games a week pretty much all season. So I have them in the Final Four as well.
Good. I think that's a smart choice. And yeah, like, I think that, he plays it right. He doesn't, like, Katie Johnson missed everything against Texas A&M, but, Bruce Pearl is just going to pat his back and say, you're going to make the next one. Like, he's not going to bench a guy for struggling. And, like, I think that, especially with players today, like, just, you got to keep building him up. And, and he will. He'll applaud every time that Katie Johnson takes a shot that he thinks he can make.
He knows how to like he knows how this team, like, operate, or like one thing he's great about, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but he's so good at knowing how, like, to push and motivate the team as a like a whole, but also each individual person in the cog in the wheel. You know what I mean? Like, it's really impressive.
Yeah, he's a great coach. His players respond to him. Like, I love his style of just, let the guys do the things that they do well, and just don't overreact to mistakes that you see. Like some coaches, every time somebody misses a shot, and Coach Cal has had to get over this too. Like, he's had to embrace the 3 a little bit more than he has in years past. And to his credit, he has, and has built a championship contender this year. But yeah, Bruce Pearl has been that way for years now. And I just really like watching a coach who interacts with his players like that.
I like that he took a stand against wearing suits and dress shirts on the, because, like, I know that man did not want to become a meme ever again after that 2019 Final Four run, because my man was sweating bullets out there. Yeah, it's hard not to like and pull for a guy like Bruce Pearl. And also, just as, like, again, as an unabashed SEC homer, I would laugh just maniacally if somehow Kentucky gets to the finals on one side, and Auburn or Tennessee from this side make it, and just the entire country has to watch yet another all SEC final. So, all right, for Adam Spencer, I was Chris Marlar. Make sure you're following everything on social media this week with SCS. Adam does an incredible job with not just the newsletter, but also the Twitter account. So I don't mess it up and misquote it, because I will. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Bluechipgrit.com is where our basketball newsletter lives, and you can follow me on Twitter at AdamSpencer4. And yeah, just go to Saturday Down South. We'll have plenty of coverage all these next few weeks here.